All right, we're going to go through the presidency, just a brief overview, what it takes to be president, some of the jobs that the president is supposed to fulfill, and then the roles of the president. So, the presidential qualifications. So, you have to be a natural born citizen. So, again, you think about when this was written. This is written, in late 1780s. They don't want foreign influence. A lot of people have argued this, is outdated, but it's in the Constitution. You have to be a natural born citizen. You must be 35 years old, and you have to be a resident of the United States for 14 years. So what that means is, like President Barack Obama, he was born in the United States, but then he lived in Indonesia for quite a bit of time during his childhood, and then he moved back, and he was a resident for 14 years. Again, it's kind of strange, but that is the way it's written out. So, we looked at, 25 years old to be a representative, 30 years old to be a congressman, and 35 to be president. So the president wasn't always a two-term deal. President FDR was the only one to serve more than 2 terms. And this precedent was set with George Washington. He basically, he was unanimously selected twice and just left after his second term. Every president up to FDR held, just left on their own accord. President Roosevelt's president during the Great Depression, World War II. He is elected 4 times. That will be changed. 22nd Amendment, you cannot be elected more than twice or be president for more than 10 years. So again, if you're the vice president and the president is killed or impeached or removed from office or whatever, and you start to be president kind of midterm, you can finish out that term and then run 2 more times. So it's 10 years, 2 elections. All right. Some of the benefits of the presidency, they're not the most highly paid. A lot of them are millionaires before they become president. You get $400,000 a year. You get to live in the White House. You have travel expenses. You get a pretty sweet retirement gig. You get private airplane, Air Force One. Camp David in Maryland is the official vacation home of the president. Free medical care. You get Secret Service for the rest of your life. So again, it's got some pretty good perks for essentially only being 4 years of a job. Okay. Some other interesting things that go along with the president. There's a line of secession. So if the president is unable to do his duties or is killed or is removed from office, there's a line. So right now, the vice president is next in line, Kamala Harris, and then it's the Speaker of the House. So it's the first time that we've had a female vice president, and we have a female. Nancy Pelosi is the first female Speaker of the House, and then it goes down. Secretary of State and the longest tenured member of Congress from the leading party, and this goes all the way down. So you've got vice president, Speaker of the House, goes all the way down to the Secretary of Homeland Security. So there's a plan in place. If the president cannot fulfill his duties or is killed or is, is removed from office, there's a plan in place. Okay. So in terms of the president, okay, or the vice president, all right, is and this is not Mike Pence anymore. It's Kamala Harris. They are, it's mostly ceremonial. Okay. It doesn't have a lot of official powers. Okay. They are the president of the Senate. So if there is a tie, okay, a 50-50 tie in the Senate, the vice president gets to be the tie-breaking vote. But other than that, they don't have a lot of formal job duties. Okay. Most of the duties for the president, okay, are, these roles. Okay. So the president has to wear many hats. The chief of state, and this is where we're going to spend a lot of our time looking at, he is the symbol of the United States. So when they're meeting kings and queens or representatives from other countries or, these official ceremonies, okay, giving, the Medal of Honor, partying a turkey, having the Easter egg roll, addressing the nation. They are the chief of state. They are the example of the symbol of the United States. Okay. They're also, this is the majority of their job, they are the boss of the executive department or the executive branch. So The federal government has 15 executive branches, each one, the Department of Defense, the Department of Education, the Department of the Interior. The president is the head or the boss of all those. He gets to choose cabinet members. He, has cabinet meetings. He appoints these officials. This is the main formal duties of the president. Okay, so you think of the president's cabinet. These are all part of the executive branch, and the president is their boss, and he kind of determines the way things are laid out. Okay, so all these executive branches are all in Washington, D.C. Okay, chief diplomat, so foreign policy, signing official treaties, trade agreements, directing official ambassadors. So the chief of state is more of a ceremonial, or chief diplomat is more getting into the nuts and bolts of the actual foreign diplomacy. Commander-in-chief, they are the head of the armed forces, so the 5 branches. They are the top military officer. So again, they get to decide a lot of these crucial elements, regarding the 5 branches of the military. Okay, where to use troops, what type of weapons to be used, and kind of the bigger, larger role and goals of the military. Okay, so again, when Osama bin Laden was assassinated, you had President Obama. There's current President Joe Biden when he was Vice President, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, overseeing or authorizing this mission. So Obama again is going to be the one that gets to authorize that mission. Okay, chief legislator. So again, the legislative branch, is the one that makes the laws, and the president will often propose bills. Okay. They're going to try to get members of Congress to pass certain agenda items. So whether it's the, Obamacare, all right, the Affordable Care Act, or the Trump tax cuts, or the COVID relief, technically the president isn't signing those, or isn't passing those. They sign them, but they're really going to call members of Congress, really urge them to, follow their legislative agenda. Okay, and they have the big ceremony when they're signing these important pieces of legislation. All right, they lay out their ideas before Congress in the joint sessions of where they want to go legislatively. All right, they're also the head of the political party. So whether it's the Republicans or Democrats, they are the face of the party. So a lot of speeches, a lot of fundraising. Okay. And just really kind of being the face, whether it's a dinner for, President Obama or Trump or whatever it is, $100,000 a meal. It's kind of expensive. All right. But again, fundraising, you can see Hillary Clinton was running for president. Obama, who at the time was the current president, is, campaigning on her behalf. Okay. And then economic planner, again, we saw this a lot with COVID, a lot of stuff with the economy. They, obviously do not control the economy, but they get the credit if it's going well or not going well. Some policies on, who to put in the Federal Reserve, the Secretary of Treasury, a lot of stuff with taxes, a lot of stuff with, the minimum wage we're seeing going on right now, being pushed legislatively, all part of this bigger economic plan of the president. All right. So, and again, the last thing, and we're going to look at the Electoral College in class, the presidency, announces their candidacy in the spring. They'll have the primary system. The summer before the election, they have the national big conventions, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party. And then, their last fall campaign in November, the people vote. All right. And then December, the Electoral College actually votes. And we'll talk about that quite a bit more in class. And then January 20th, because of the 20th Amendment, that is when the president is inaugurated. And we have the peaceful transition of power or the continuation of a presidency. So again, brief overview of the president and the roles and kind of the big picture. So I'll see you guys in class.